Let's take a closer look at Forsyth County's instructional framework. As mentioned earlier, this work reflects the instructional expectations found in Georgia's System for Effective School Instruction and is aligned to Georgia's Teacher Keys Effectiveness System. At first glance, you may notice the framework resembles our learner profile. The colors, icons, font, and overall layout match the design of the learner profile. In fact, if you look closely at the center of the instructional framework, you will find the icon from the profile. This icon represents our learners, each and every student in our system, and reminds us to keep them central in all the work we do. Both the Forsyth County Schools instructional framework and learner profile are district-wide expectations. Notice that instruction is represented as a circle, occurring in 4 phases. Arrows are found within each phase and point in opposite directions, representing the fluid nature of effective instruction. Look at the lines and shapes of the phases. Seeing the similarity of each phase may lead you to believe that they are all the same. Not so. There is a fluid nature to the cycle where one phase may take more time and attention than others. The focus, time, and effort spent in a specific phase is determined by student need, again keeping them in the center of all we do. Now, let's take a look at each of these phases. Let's begin with plan, because we know highly effective instruction does not happen without purposeful planning. Read the 4 bullets under Plan. These expectations state that all teachers must analyze standards to clearly understand what is to be learned. Once teachers have a deep understanding of what students will learn, they determine how they will know where their students are in the learning process, what mastery will look like, and how mastery will be measured. The last step of the planning process is to develop activities and experiences that tightly align to targets and assessments. It is critical that this phase is intentionally addressed in a collaborative setting. Without precision planning, our students' learning is compromised and instruction is less than effective. Now move on to the right and you will find the Implement phase. Take a look at the bullets in this section. This phase represents what occurs in our classrooms each day. In it, we can find the essentials of effective instruction, what you might call the anatomy of a lesson. This lesson begins with a powerful opener which reminds students of their learning targets and goals, as well as addresses the standards. Next, students are provided a challenging work session where strategies and activities are aligned to student need and help learners track their own progress. Finally, our lessons always involve formative checks to determine the degree of understanding each student has and drives future learning. During this phase, we must think about what we do each day in our classrooms, how deliberate we are with the time we have with students, and how we will determine to what degree our students are learning. We believe that when teachers plan for student success and then implement those plans, addressing each component of this implement phase, all students will learn and make progress. So how do we determine student progress and then adjust accordingly? That question takes us to the monitor phase. In this phase, we use assessment strategies to monitor learning, identify, and address needs, ensuring success for every student. The expectations of this phase guide us to be intentional with our monitoring strategies. It is in this phase that we use a multitude of formative practices, giving feedback based on conversations we have with our students, observations we make as they work, and close examination of their work to align instruction to learning needs. This is how we determine where our students are in the learning process. Through these practices, we collect data from multiple sources to help us determine next steps for each student. Again, without expertise in this crucial phase, we will struggle to really know and understand our learners. The monitor phase is student-centered, causing us to closely examine how each of our students are doing and then move to where they are and what they need, ensuring that no learner is left behind. Our work is complex, and we must find time to celebrate what works and change what doesn't. Take a look at our last phase, reflect. The important thing to remember is that we do not operate in isolation. The days are gone when a teacher would walk in a classroom, close the door, and do the work. Reflection can begin with an individual teacher, but it cannot stop there. We celebrate together, make adjustments together, face challenges together, and chart our path together. It is this collaborative process that supports the work we do. One person cannot do it alone. And when together, we believe that every student will succeed because of the great team that serves him or her, then that belief for our students' success becomes a reality, and our vision of quality learning and superior performance for all is attained for every learner and every teacher in our system.